So, you are here because you are interested in transforming your mind in only 30 days. I just did this 30-day challenge by Dr. Joe Dispenza that I heard about from Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast. Dr. Joe Dispenza is an international lecturer, researcher, corporate consultant, author, and educator who has been invited to speak in more than 33 countries on 6 continents. As a lecturer and educator, he is driven by the conviction that each of us has the potential for greatness and unlimited abilities. In his easy to understand, encouraging, and compassionate style, he has educated thousands of people, detailing how they can rewire their brains and recondition their bodies to make lasting changes. His slogan is, "Change your mind, change your life." And so, what really drew me into this challenge is what he said as a guest on Jay Shetty's podcast. He said that 95% of our thoughts from day to day are actually exactly the same. They are simply recycled over the course of time. And so when we say something like you cannot change your life unless you change your thoughts, the reality is that is the truth. Because if 95% of our thoughts are the same and our thoughts and our mindset is holding us back, then what we have to do is we have to use the power of neuroscience and neuroplasticity, which is our brain's ability to change, in order to override this natural system and to create new thoughts for ourselves. I know it seems a little bit complicated when I talk about it right now, but I'm going to explain it to you in 2 minutes here, and it's actually quite simple to understand. And so, what are some possible limiting beliefs? Well, I'm not good enough. I'm not accepted. You don't believe in yourself. Negative self-talk or self-judgment. Basically anything less than what you need to believe to do the things that you want to do. And so the challenge basically has 3 phases, and again, it is extremely simple. The idea is this. For the first 10 days, every night before bed, you take out a little journal or a piece of paper by your bed, and you simply write down all the thoughts that you had for the day. And you just do that. You do that for 10 days straight. You just write down, okay, what were most of the thoughts that I had today? And you recall, yeah, okay, that was angry there. Oh, I had this negative self-talk here. I did this. Or even the positive stuff. You write down all of it. In the next 10 days, you continue to write down your thoughts, but you start to notice patterns. What are the negative thoughts that continue to come up that are maybe clouding your judgment, that are maybe holding you back, that are maybe bringing in fear or bringing in anxiety or some sort of feeling or emotion that you don't want, some sort of feeling or emotion that keeps you back from being at your best? And the goal by the end of day 20 is to identify basically the 3 to 5 thoughts that are coming up the most, that are really getting in your way and holding you back. And in the final 10 days we are creating empowering thoughts out of those negative emotions. And what you want to do then is you want to sit with those empowering thoughts and feel what they would feel like. And when the negative thought does arise, you instantly know what to do. You switch that negative thought to an empowering thought, and then you continue to carry on with your day. Now, why is this so important? Well, this is so important because again, like I said, neuroplasticity is our brain's ability to change. And when we over and over again are repeating a new empowering belief, scientifically our brain is actually making new neural connections. And so if we do it enough, and if we do it with enough repetition, then that empowering thought over time will eventually replace the negative thought, and the negative thought will go away. So again, this super simple process of writing down all your thoughts. Phase 2 is noticing the negative patterns. And then step 3 is implementing the empowering belief and using that as fuel to replace those negative beliefs. When you have 95% of your thoughts being the same from day to day, this can literally change all of those negative thoughts that are holding you back, and now you can start to move forward with a better understanding of how you have been operating and how you want to operate. And so I'm going to give you a quick example in the lens of my story. So for me, I did this. And what I started to realize is that there was 2 big thoughts that were holding me back. One was my need for acceptance. I realized that when I didn't get positive affirmation from others, that I started to feel sad. I started to feel unworthy. I started to feel not enough. That was my trigger point. So when I reflected back on my journey, I would realize that this was holding me back in form of my general happiness because I wanted everyone to like me, my ability to be myself because, again, I maybe mellowed down parts of myself for people to accept me more, my ability to be a good entrepreneur and to put out the stuff in the world that I want to put on social medias. When I get 5 likes on a post instead of 200, instantly I feel less worthy. And so I started to realize that this belief has been controlling me. And instead, what I changed my empowering belief to, instead of I needed to be accepted by everyone, is I am going into the world being 100% my authentic self, and I'm trying to serve others, and I'm doing the best that I can. And that is now my new empowering belief, saying it doesn't matter if I'm accepted by everyone. What matters is if I'm being myself and I'm trying to serve others. That's the empowering belief that I want to choose to have. And so now what's happening in my life, I'm realizing the times when this need for acceptance is popping back up and affecting me, and I'm more aware of it. And I'm saying, okay, I know what's controlling me now. It's this thought. Let's try to shift this empowering belief and move on with our day. The second thing is my need to be an alpha. And I realized that in life, growing up, I was captain of sports teams. I was always usually a leader, and I enjoyed playing the leadership role. However, I always struggled when I wasn't a leader. And the reality is that this is holding me back a lot because oftentimes in the room, I am not the best leader, and there's people who are better at leading than I am. And so this need to be the alpha, and when I don't feel like the alpha, I shrink down and I become less of a man. It's impacting my ability to learn from others, to grow with others, to empower others. And so now what I changed this belief to, the belief of I need to be an alpha, I changed it to when there's other leaders in the room, it is your responsibility to empower them, to make them feel strong, to make them feel whole, and you are on their journey with them. You are together, and they are a part of your journey as well. So now if I step into a room and somebody is being a great leader, it's like, okay, awesome. What can I learn from them? How can I, grow with them? And how can we both push our missions forward together? And so these two things, now that I'm aware of them, have really transformed my ability to be aware of what was holding me back in my mind and now what I can do going forward. And actually now it's kind of a part of my daily routine. Every time I go to bed, I sit down and I basically write, kind of all the interesting thoughts that I have for that day. And I simply become aware of them. And I'm basically just repeating this process of over time. It's saying, okay, what thoughts can I continue to be aware of? What thoughts can I continue to create empowering beliefs for? And once you get really good at self-analyzing your own brain, again, you can really transform your mindset in any area, in any thought, in any sort of belief. And so just to recap this challenge for you, again, step 1 is the first 10 days you are simply writing down all your thoughts. Step 2 is you are starting to notice patterns and identifying the limiting beliefs or negative thoughts that keep popping in your head. And then step 3 is that you're creating empowering beliefs based off those negative thoughts, and you're repeating those empowering beliefs over and over again so you are forming new neural connections. And why is this important? Again, it's important because 95% of our thoughts are the same on a day-to-day basis. And so before we can change our external world, we need to change our internal world, aka change our mind. And so this challenge worked extremely well for me. I hope that you find some use out of it as well. I know that Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches this to millions of people around the world. So it's not just me that has gotten a lot of benefit from this, and I wanted to share it with you because I know that it's a tough world we're living in, and people are struggling a lot with mental health and anxiety, and transforming your mindset to an empowering one that helps you believe in your dreams, believe in yourself. And I know that this is a very good tool and strategy for doing that. And so I recommend that you start today. Grab a piece of paper or a journal, put it right by your bed, start to write down these thoughts and track your days. And of course, when you're done, definitely contact me and let me know how it went for you. Again, I'm always here for you and your journey. And like I've been saying on every single episode, I am offering free 30-minute calls to any of the listeners. Whatever you want to talk about, I am here for you. And again, my goal with this is to connect with the audience, to provide more value, and to really share our journeys together, to be a friend, to be a supporter, to be someone who can help guide you in your journey and to make a real connection with someone. And so, as always, my number is 612-710-4605. Call me or text me if you feel moved to. And lastly, the other episode that was released today is an interview with Dr. Rob Kelly. We talk about how he went from a millionaire to homeless, and then eventually to one of the best neuroscientists in the world and specializing in addiction recovery, who has worked with people as big as Robert Downey Jr. And in fact, we probably wouldn't know the Iron Man that we know today if it wasn't for Dr. Rob Kelly's work in getting him off of his addiction. So it's a super incredible episode. We talk a lot about mindset, neuroscience, and creating empowering beliefs for yourself. So very similar to this sort of challenge. And if you've already seen that one or listened to it, then I will see you Thursday for the next episode. So people, it's time to transform our minds so we can transform our lives. And as always, go out there and make your dream life a reality, and I will see you next time.